Alright, in this video we're going to talk about creating pages and more specifically creating pages and styling the content within that page. Alright, so let's get started. Let's come to the back end. We want to find pages and then click add new. We can do that from here or right here. And then you're going to see this page, and let's go ahead and give it a name. It's going to call this testing for fun. That's our page name. And then what we want to do is get started by adding content. And first thing we need to do is add a row. We always have to add a row. And then within that row would be our content, such as our text, our images, our banners, buttons, whatever the case may be. So I can do that by clicking this or this. And there's a row in the top left. And then there's our first row. And then what we want to do is figure out what we're going to add. I'm going to add a banner, an actual rotating banner. So I'm going to click the plus sign here because I want to add this banner within this row. And what we'll see here is banner here. It's a static, a regular static banner, standstill banner, such as a flat image that does not rotate, or a video. We're going to have rotating, changing slides. So we'll do rotating banner. And you'll see that's loaded here. And then again, we need to click the plus to choose and set up our individual images. Slide. So here's the title over the image. Title would be here. Subtitle. Your button link, so you can either choose from a page here that you already have set up in the back end, such as your fleet page, or blog, or whatever, or you can manually put in, copy and paste a URL. Then the button text, so click me. Alright, set that, and then your image. Make sure your image is wide, big enough. You don't want it too big, but you definitely don't want it too small. I recommend 1500 pixels wide to about 1800 pixels wide, and around 700 pixels to 800 pixels tall. You don't want to go too big, especially something that's 4000. It can do it, but we strongly recommend against it. Alright, so let's set our image. We'll save it. Let's publish our page. Whenever it's a new page, this over here on the right will say publish. Once you've published it, it will then say update. Alright, let's view it. And it'll be pretty boring, just going to be this right here, just this banner and then our footer. So there's our title text and our image and whatnot. And obviously it's not rotating because we only have this one image. So to add another image, you can go ahead and click this plus right here again, or you can duplicate this existing one and just fill out the information. I find that to be a bit faster, so we'll do 2 more. Click the pencil to edit it. I'm not going to do the text just for the purpose of this video. I will change out the picture, however. Click that one, make sure it's big enough, looks to be good. Save it. And last but not least, this one. And let's check our work. There we go. We now have rotating banner. We know that because the arrows are here. There you go. Okay, so let's work on having some content. Now, let me show you real quick. If this happens to you, it looks like something's like it doesn't look right. Like, oh, the content, the website is messed up, the pages are messed up. And what I mean by that is, let's say we come in here and you want to add some text. So here's a text block. Here's some text. I got my message, my content, my paragraph, whatever. It doesn't really look like it does on the website. What I mean by that is, let me find, where are we? I'm trying to find a page that had, okay. So see how we have this background with these lines, and then we have this white frame box. We got to make sure we set that up first before we can add in the text and stuff. Otherwise, it's going to just look like this kind of plain stuff. What you might like might be okay for you. It's fine, but I'm just pointing that out. And to do that, let's go ahead and create another row. And what we want is center block. There's no settings to set. That's just basically the parameter for the row itself, for the background. And then once we do that, we can click inside here. We can add another row, or we can add a text block or some other stuff. Let's just do text block. Actually, let me undo that. Let me do this instead. Let me add a row. And then what I want to do is column. So I wanted to show you column. So right now we can do, a full width column, or we can actually split it up. So maybe you want to have 2 separate paragraphs, maybe 3 paragraphs, whatever the case may be. We have different options here. I'm just going to do 2, and then I'll add text to these. So text block. Let's see. Title here. Try to choose the same headings throughout, that way you're maintaining consistency. So right under heading here. And then I want to add that that gold line we see under the titles everywhere, and we can do that by clicking this horizontal line icon right here. And that'll put this line here. And we'll save it. And then I'm just going to duplicate this and then drag it over here to place it on this side, in this column. So, say sometimes we have to do this all over again. Oh, I missed my spot. Sometimes it's a little weird. Here we go. Check it. There's our text, and then we have the background, and we have the white box. What you will notice, though, it's flush right to the top, and we have no space. This is actually called margin. We want to create some margin, some space in between this element and this element. And to do that, we find the row that we're working in, the main row, the master row, which is this right here, this gray box outline. And then we want to click this little icon here. And then under the Design Options tab, you'll see margin. And this is top margin, and then the outside will be left and right, and then bottom. Top margin is going to create the space between this and then this. So I'll just do like 150 pixels. Let's check what we got. There's our space. All right, and then if you want, you can keep adding content to this frame here. So we can click this icon right in here, maybe add a row. Let's see, add some more text, save it. Now we have some more text. You can use text to add images if you like, so we can, let's see, actually do this. Put some more text in there. Then we'll add an image. So I'll click where I want the image to go. We'll put it right in there. Click the Add Media button. You can upload something, or you can choose from something existing. I'll just choose this one. And then once you've selected it, you have a few options over here on the right. Alignment is an important one because basically that's telling you how the text is going to react to the image. Do you want it to float left or right around the image? Do you want it to be at the bottom of the image? Whatever. So I want to have the text float right, or excuse me, the image float left, the text float right. And then what size do you want the image to be? This one is a little big. I don't want it that big. I'm going to choose medium. Then I'll insert it. And then what you'll see now is the text is floating over to the right of the image. Save that. It looks weird here, but it should be okay when you update and view the site. There we are. Oh, we got a title thing in there. What did I do? Click the icon and add this. Oh, yeah. All right, let me do this again. I missed something here. Let me see what I did wrong. Oh, the caption right in here. If you fill this box out, it'll make that border around the image and it'll add that text in there. I don't want that. Did I not save it? Oh, man. Pardon me, it's a little late over here. Let me try it again. Apparently I deleted out the image. Select the image, alignment left, medium, insert. There we go. Sorry about that. Third time's the charm. All right, there we go. There's our image, and there it is, floated left. The same applies if you want to float it right or center it. All right, let's go back to the page. We've so far have set up a rotating banner. We've set up our content block with a couple of columns in there. We've also set up some standard text that's full width in that column, as well as an image floated left. Let's add a new section within this box, and what we can do is add another row. We can add empty space. So let's say you want to create, this is another way to create space. So if you remember in the beginning of the video, or a little bit earlier I should say, where I clicked this pencil icon and I created separation between this box and then the banner by clicking this design icon and adding these this margin in there. You can also just add some space by using this empty space icon. So click this, type in your number. So for instance, we'll do, let's just say 200. All right, then that's in here. Now when I add another elements, it's going to automatically by default create all that space between this picture and this text here and then this line of text. See, now it's created that space. If I come back in here and delete this, it'll push all the way flush. So it's up to you and how you want to create your separation in there. All right, so let's go ahead and then let's work on adding a button. So let's see here. Let me go ahead and click this. We'll do a row, and then we will do a text block. I'm going to leave this text here. I think I'll do a title here. All right, I'm going to give this a 2 heading. Enter in my horizontal rule. I will highlight everything and center it. Now I'm not really going over this stuff because I think it's self-explanatory. You should be okay. I mean, you got things like your bold, your italic, centering, and you know, left justified, right justified. The text. I'm not really covering that because I think it's something that's pretty easy to use. Okay, so now I've entered in my little paragraph of stuff. Actually, just add a bit more. I'll do my design options now so I can give some space between this and the picture above it. I'll save that. Alright, so you'll see my title here. We're outside of the white boxes, which is what I want. We've centered our text, we have our underline, and then I'm going to add a little button in there. So we'll click the plus icon. Where's the button? Buttons. Let's position it center. Do we want the lines or not? So on the home page, we have these lines right here. So let's go ahead and, yeah, we'll do those. Save. So that we set up the use of the button, now we have to actually insert the button. So go ahead and click the plus. That might have gone too fast. So once we have this set up, we now click the plus. Then we get the button icon, it pops up. Then our info, so contact us. And then your link, of course, what color button you want, gold, black. Transparent, obviously, is only good if it's over an image. Well, let's do black right now. And then save. Go ahead and update it. And then now we have our contact button. All right. Now one quick thing, when you're adding content and adding text, you can actually color this whole area in. I'm not sure you want to do that, but I'm just kind of pointing out in case you do. So for instance, I've added this area here. It's sitting over this box here, or excuse me, over this background here, but nothing behind it. If we click this pencil, you remember the options where we could add margin and padding. We can actually add background color as well. So right here we click this, choose a background color. This is not going to look good, by the way. Right? I'm just doing a quick little thing, but I'm just kind of pointing that out. It's a styling option, so I like to mention it. Update that, and then now we have a gray box. So it needs a little bit of work, but I like to point this out because sometimes it's a great way to call, to attract the eye. So the clients on your site are looking for something, maybe it's important to you. That's a good way to call out to their eye, maybe they can see it, to call to action, that kind of a thing. And again, that's under design options, and over on the right, the background color. If you want to use it, if you ever want to get rid of it, it doesn't work for you, just hit clear, click the background thing, there'll be a clear button, click that, update it, and this should be gone. And there it is. I actually think this looks much nicer and much cleaner, but if you want to do that, that option is there. Alright, this video is much longer than the typical video we have on here, so I think I will cut it off now.